They like how you so cool, how you so fly, how you so fresh, you ain't even gotta try. Y'all pump faking, I ain't even gotta lie. Hit 'em with the hits, game winner switch in.
We're live from Roachdale this evening as we bring you live coverage of the second half of the North Putnam-South Putnam doubleheader here on the ISC Sports Network. Alongside Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling. A pleasure to be with you as we bring you another good matchup here in the northern portion of the county of Putnam. Today's game is brought to you by Endeavor Communications. Internet speeds up to a gig. Learn more at weendeavor.com. Bill Fenlon, a pleasure to be back with you again here. Of course, two teams that are very familiar with each other. One team has already gotten one game under their belts. For the other, it's their season opener.
So you're basically just starting the year, right? Which to me is always the best time of year. You've got all the possibilities for your team are ahead of you, right? And so you're never going to see guys play any harder than they'll play that first night or second night out, because they still think they're going to win a state championship, all of them, right? And that's how it should be. And I'm excited to be here with you tonight to see a great county matchup.
Absolutely. Of course, two teams you are very familiar with as well, having coached at DePaul all those years. But
I paid a lot of Putnam County tax. So I probably bought a bunch of these uniforms, Kurt.
Well, there you go, by the transitive property, I would say. Of course, South Putnam coming into this ball game under the tutelage of second-year head coach Josh Estridge. We saw their starting lineups just a little bit ago. North Putnam, on the other hand, they are coming off a season-opening loss to Southmont. 79-48, the final score in that one. But Vince Brooks, in his sixth season as the head coach of the North Putnam Cougars, looking to try and rebound against a conference opponent here on their home court.
The North Putnam Cougars have the designated handshaker out there. Did you see that?
Absolutely. I think
every team handshaker.
Every team has one.
Yeah, and you know, everyone's got their own special handshake, right? Which means you got to memorize all of that, right? And they're the same guys that can't remember the plays, right? Like that stuff drove me crazy. Like, don't spend your time memorizing the handshake. Get the plays down.
Some things stick better than others. South Putnam and North Putnam, inter-county rivalry in this one. We're underway as Khalil Jefferson, the 6'5" forward center, certainly going to be a big presence down low here for South Putnam here this evening. An already quick ball movement here by the Eagles again. Their first game of the regular season here for South Putnam, as a three is a little long that time from Isaac Garner, but getting his own rebound, and he gets the putback.
Got to box out the shooter, Kurt. Basketball 101. Ball came right back at him. He's able to convert for two.
North Putnam going to try to respond here on their opening possession. This is Caden Helderman, one of the leaders here, as he leaves that outside, and Nolan Augusta hits a big three.
Well, Augusta, in their first game, took 16 shots. They were all threes. And he was 6 of 16 from three. And that one had eyes because it was from straight away and it went off the board.
Speaking of straight away, Caden Helderman doing just that as he goes right to the rim, making a 5-2 advantage here for North Putnam. South Putnam, of course, coming off a successful football season that came up short in the deep part of the football season, in the postseason, I should say, but now getting right back into it for some of these football players who are also basketball players here for South Putnam. Garner up top. Now Ty Benton, the sophomore. And so far we haven't really seen a lot of Jefferson yet. He gets a slight touch on the ball, as you see Braxton Woodall down low for North Putnam, giving him a lot of respect. Three on the way, short that time. Put back by Jefferson, doesn't go. Another offensive rebound. A flurry of threes here for South Putnam, as Jefferson really playing hard down low to try and establish some position. Here is Helderman. And that shot goes over the back of the backboard and out of play.
I like that pace. I like that pace.
And there you see Josh Estridge Again, his second season, going 7-16 in his first season at the helm of South Putnam. This is an Eagles squad that had 3 returning players with varsity experience a year ago, but most of the roster is back now this year from last year. Deep 3 this time from Augusta, and it goes out of play. And you mentioned it before, how he likes to shoot a lot of threes. We may be in for the same thing here this afternoon.
Well, he likes to shoot a lot of them. That wasn't a great one. He wasn't really on balance. He wasn't stepping up, kind of sliding side to side. He's clearly got the green light, but it was fluorescent green that time.
Here is Wyatt Mullen for South Putnam, the quarterback for the South Putnam football team, as I mentioned earlier. He now tries to work into the lane. But give credit to North Putnam's defense. After giving up that early shot, they have been pretty ironclad here over the last couple of possessions. 3 flies that time for Garner, off the mark.
Well, South being very deliberate offensively, and you can just tell that North wants to play at a much faster pace. That's obvious here, and we're only a couple minutes into the ball game.
Khalil Jefferson picking up his first foul here as he slightly gives the bump there to Caden Helderman.
He's going to foul some because he is a very, very active, very high motor guy, Jefferson is.
Working on Woodall here is Jefferson. Woodall trying to work inside. Can't quite get that one to go. And a loose ball coughed up there by Garner, and a fresh possession here for North Putnam. Good feed that time to Helderman, and he leaves that short. Elijah Garner has been pretty active here for South Putnam as a rattled home 3 that time hits for Camden Green. And the sophomore standing 6'2", or rather I should say Cam Bozell hits that 3 for South Putnam, and a timeout called here by Vince Brooks of North.
Well, a really early timeout by Coach Brooks. He saw something that he didn't like or something that he wanted to change, and he emphatically took that one.
Well, this game is proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor Communications doesn't provide just any old ordinary internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play in connectivity. Visit weendeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet. Your fiber connection, your victory. Well, you can certainly tell that South itching to get into the season here. They have been extremely volatile, I should say, here in these first 3 minutes.
They're excited to play.
Spin move inside here by Helderman. Leaves it there for Query, and he hits.
Great leave by Helderman. Got in the lane, under control, off 2 feet. Gives you lots of options, score or pass.
Owen Query, in addition from the JV squad a season ago, now getting varsity minutes. But now South Putnam trying to move their way inside here as the Cougars have taken a 7-5 advantage. A foul on the shot, and that is going to count for Ty Benton of South Putnam, and he goes to the line for the and 1.
Well, the foul is on the rebound, so they're going to get the 3 and gain possession here.
So it's not a shooting foul. That's what Ty Benton thought it might be, but as you mentioned, Coach, so no and 1 shot, but you still get the possession.
Yeah, well, you got to actually get close enough to you to foul you on the shot. I don't think anybody was near him.
Already 3 lead changes here in this contest as Jefferson spinning to the rim and gets the and 1 that time.
He is a bouncy, active guy. I remember when we saw him play last year, very raw, and he's got a little bigger and stronger this year. And that was a tough move to the middle where he just jumped over everybody and finished it right hand, right shoulder, which is not easy to do.
Coach Estridge saying that Khalil Jefferson put on about 15 pounds of muscle from a season ago. But still, even in that raw state, he had 3 double-doubles last season for South Putnam.
Well, he just has such a high motor. He's just going after every ball like he's supposed to get it. And that's a recipe for success for sure.
Letting it fly that time, but it's an offensive foul for North Putnam as Augusta tries to get that one away. So the blocking foul here called on at North Putnam.
Well, they were in a handoff situation, and the guy handing off just kind of moved and set that illegal screen. You see that a lot in those handoffs.
South by 4 here in the final 3 of the opening quarter. Cutting inside is Garner from the elbow, leaves it short. Drew Klein with the offensive rebound, and he leaves that short as well. Here is Helderman. He brings it back out here for the Cougars. Helderman going right in on Klein, and a traveling violation going to be called. Back-to-back turnovers here for the Cougars.
They had a single-side ball screen set up, and Helderman decided to reject the ball screen and just didn't get himself under control at the end of that drive.
Klein now here looks to the right side. Back to Garner. Bozell. Back up top here to Benton, and he gets his pocket picked by Helderman, who goes behind the back into the lane, fires the shot, can't get it to go, but he gets the foul, and he'll go to the line.
He really forced the issue there on that drive.
First trip to the line here for the Cougars, who are a 62% foul shooting team this season. Of course, that only based off of that one game against Southmont, but how about that move there by Helderman to get to the rim?
Yeah, and then he came back with his left hand, almost got it to go.
Wyatt Schweitzer into the ball game here for South Putnam. Caden Helderman started on the C team as a freshman and quickly moved to the varsity, and now has been a varsity player for North Putnam ever since that first year. Lane violation, I believe, is the call. Into the final 2 minutes. Blake Witt into the ball game as well for South Putnam, as we see Jefferson again working. Kicks it back outside, and a corner 3 connects there for Ty Benton.
Very good inside out right there.
2 threes this quarter for Ty Benton. Makes it a 5-point advantage, the largest lead for either team here in this opening quarter.
I think that's one of the things that's going to happen to Jefferson is he just can't help himself reaching in, and that's his, I believe that's his second foul.
Second foul on Benton, third for South Putnam this quarter. Into the final 90. Helderman lets it go from the top. A little too strong. Augusta sets a pick there for Query, who tries to get into the lane. And Helderman cuts inside, scoops it up, gets the roll. What a nifty move there by Helderman.
That was a tough shot. North has got a couple three really skilled, quick, athletic guards who are putting a lot of pressure on South right now.
North nearly came up with the turnover right there as Klein works it in the corner. This is Parker Harris. Offensive lineman on offensive lineman right there between Woodall and Harris, both playing football for these respective institutions. Benton lets it go. Too strong on that one. And out of the reach of Harris. And without a doubt, North Putnam going to hold for the final shot here with Helderman walking across midcourt. Helderman goes in on Klein. And here is Woodall letting it go. Too strong that time for the big man. And a long pass underneath to Witt, who tries to get a shot off along the baseline. And we go to the second quarter. 14-11, the Cougars trailing by 3 to South Putnam here on ISC.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
Second quarter here of the boys edition of the North Putnam South Putnam doubleheader here in Roachdale on ISC Sports Network alongside Bill Finland. I'm Kurt Darling. Coach, competitive first quarter to say the least.
Yeah, and kind of, and it may not bear itself out this way, but kind of contrasting styles with South being pretty deliberate offensively. You know, you're going to see a possession where they're going to pass it 6, 7, 8 times, and you're not really seeing that from North. They're playing a little bit faster. As I say that, they're going to go into a weave and pass it about 20 times.
They're still playing fast, though, as Helderman kicks it back up top here to Augusta. And South appeared to be a little ready for that one. Still, though, Helderman has had some tough shots in the lane, and he gets another one.
Big jump stop off 2 feet on balance, and he's a guy who can finish some shots at the end of those drives.
7 points for Caden Helderman so far as he leads all scorers. Here is Parker Harris going in on Woodall. Jump hook along the baseline. Put back doesn't go that time for Schweitzer, and it goes out of play, and it's a North Putnam basketball. There you see Coach Vince Brooks, 6th year at the helm of the Cougars, 81-47 in that time span. And certainly coaching a Cougars squad that has been certainly riddled with injuries right out of the gate, to say the least, as you have a couple players who he would normally rely upon coming up gimpy from football season.
Well, those are the guys with the casts on their hands over there, right?
Meanwhile, you have Helderman keeping things going. He now, as we get North Putnam back with the lead. But yes, you are right, Coach. 2 players in particular for North Putnam, Christian Kramer and Braxton Asher, who have hand injuries, one from football, one from quad racing, believe it or not.
Oh, I believe it. You know where you're at.
Of course, absolutely.
There's a little bit of that going on.
Going inside, Schweitzer knocks it down, going right to the rim. 5th different player to score here for South Putnam.
Well, I'll tell you what, South, that was a great take by Schweitzer, and the problem with a bucket sometimes is there's the guys with the casts on their hands.
That is Christian Kramer and Braxton Asher. Of course, Christian Kramer, 6,000 career passing yards, only as a junior for the football team.
That's a lot. That's like 260 kills in volleyball. What I was going to say, though, is Schweitzer made that drive and got the bucket, and then in transition, South was kind of doing the home run trot, right, and just not back and not ready. And the pace that North wants to play at, you're just not going to be able to play that way between the circles. You've got to bust it back and get ready to communicate and get picked up and build your defense from the basket out.
North Putnam 3 of 4 at the line so far, as South comes with a full head of steam, and it goes out of play. It'll stay here with the Eagles. Play made there by Griffin Starr of North Putnam. Inbound is stolen away by Helderman. Helderman waiting for his numbers, and Augusta hits it from the corner.
So clearly that's what he's out there to do.
3 made three-pointers already here for North Putnam. And looking for an answer here are the Eagles, as North Putnam now has taken what is basically amounting to an 8-2 run since the start of this second quarter. Witt using his small frame to try and squeeze inside, and he draws a foul.
Well, he attacked that closeout really well, and the help was very late to get there.
First foul on Nolan Augusta. Harris working on the wing, tries to bounce it inside it to Schweitzer, and it goes off the foot of a defender and out of play. And we redo it again. Josh Estridge pleading some offense here from his South Putnam squad, as Garner tries to get another long shot off that time. It's off the mark, and a steal on the rebound by Schweitzer. Harris using the mismatch. Can't convert, gets the rebound, tries again, and he'll go to the line.
Really took advantage of that. Somehow they got a little bit mismatched. Pretty big size advantage right there.
Again, you have Chase Barber standing all of 5'11", going up against Parker Harris, who has a good half a foot on him.
Well, what he's got is about 75 pounds on him.
That too.
So he's going to be able to kind of back his head underneath the basket right there and just turn around and score it.
Parker Harris, a starting offensive lineman for the South Putnam Eagles football team, with head coach Chuck Sorrell at the helm of that squad. And he gets his first bucket, cuts it back to a 4-point lead here for North Putnam. Meandering his way inside is Helderman. Tries to get another tricky shot off. And a couple players getting tangled up back on the other end as Harris lets it fly from deep. Helderman screams up court, works inside, leaves it short. And the rebound to Harris.
They're letting him play a little bit out here, Kurt.
Garner comes screaming inside and gets it off the corner. South Putnam on a bit of a run here, but that is quickly squashed by Chase Barber, who hits a three of his own. 3 players scoring from behind the arc so far for North Putnam. Trying to answer his own way there is Schweitzer. Garner keeps it in play and is able to get it back to Schweitzer again. Benton tries from deep. That's off the mark.
Well, you can tell when a team is committed to run, and the Cougars on a made basket, they're not even flinching. They are inbounding that ball and they're going.
That is Query, who runs right into the defender down low. Augusta. Back out to Helderman. And Helderman will let it go from the logo, leaves it short. Garner working with it up top. Harris barrels inside, uses that big frame, but having a tough time getting shots to fall from in there, and stolen away by Barber. And a timeout, or not a timeout, I should say, a foul going to be called. It looked like it may have been a timeout, but it's a hand check going to be called on South Putnam.
He's calling that.
That's going to go against Harris, I believe.
He's calling that on Harris, who wasn't anywhere near the ball.
And it was just after getting the pass off, I believe, that Harris just got a little skin there. inside the final 3 minutes here of this second quarter. Stolen away by Garner. Garner goes one-on-one with Starr, and he lays it in.
Tough move. Kind of did the Euro step there to score that one.
6 points now for Isaac Garner. Braxton Woodall going back up against the big man in Harris, and he makes him pay. First shot made by Woodall tonight. Here is Mullen, squeezing his way inside. Woodall fights for the rebound. Helderman outside. Barber, way too long that time. Garner, just off the elbow. And give the rebound to Helderman.
Kind of quick shotting. Both teams quick shotting a little bit right now. It might behoove them to run a little offense.
Helderman runs into a brick wall that time, and outside goes Augusta again. And Starr back to Helderman, and he hits. Caden Helderman has done the bulk of the scoring tonight for North Putnam as they lead by 8 points.
Offensive rebounds. Offensive rebounds lead to your best shot opportunities.
Benton from the elbow leaves it a little too long, and the ball touches the upper part of the goal post, and it goes back the other way.
It's the second time that happened in the girls' game as well. That's an old school apparatus right there with that strap hanging down.
Well, this game is proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed fiber-based service is a game changer. To find out more, go to weendeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Turnover on the other end here, and right back the other way it goes to North Putnam.
Well, what do we say that ball was made of?
Gold.
Gold, baby. Got to take care of it. Got to take care of it. Can't be handing it over to the other team.
By the way, it goes out of bounds as Augusta will come right back in after taking a quick respite. And Griffin Starr will take a break. Helderman here with Klein on him. And Klein nearly gets the steal. It's poked out of bounds.
Well, Klein was pretty serious right there, and he's just kind of fiddling around with it right in front of him. Got to be a little more protective.
And a timeout going to be called here by Coach Brooks. Just a quick 30 seconds here to try and get things organized on the offensive end. Well, South Putnam leads the all-time series with North Putnam over the last 40 years, 45-38 in that time span. But South Putnam has lost 9 straight games to the Cougars over the last 5 seasons. That is correct.
Wow, that's a little surprising.
So the series has been certainly steering in the way of North Putnam of late. But the last time that, in fact, you have to go all the way back to February of 2019 in the Putnam County Tournament, when North Putnam beat South Putnam.
That's a ways.
Or rather, when South Putnam beat North Putnam, I should say.
That's pre-COVID.
Indeed it is. Helderman. Harassed there by Klein. Woodall with a little bit of a mismatch here on Schweitzer. Has to get rid of it after he lost the dribble.
Well, they tried to run that ISO back cut play that we saw actually the South Putt girls run in the first game, but South was having none of that.
By the way, the North Putnam girls beating South Putnam 36-35 in a competitive fourth and final quarter of that game from just earlier on. Final 10 seconds of this one here in the first half. Helderman Steps back to the logo, leaves it short that time. And Garner will let it fly from half court. And that goes off the back of the iron. 29-21, the Cougars at the helm of this one, going to halftime. With Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling. It's halftime. We'll be back after this here on the ISC Sports Network.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
McCulling in time. Oh, no! It's good. This one is good. There you go.
Wow, Dawson makes a great catch.
Spin, win, 3, bury it for Leland Walker.
Tie the game they do with the dunk by Malik Edmonds. What a play.
Oh, my goodness.
I feel a little momentum starting to fall Ellen's way.
Wrestler!
Wrestler! Whoa!
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Halftime here in Rochdale, here at North Putnam High School on the ISC Sports Network alongside Coach Bill Fenlon. I'm Kurt Darling, bringing you the live coverage of the second iteration, of course, of this doubleheader between the boys and girls between these two respective schools. Well, Coach, we said it at the end of the first quarter, really competitive opening half here, especially for North Putnam. They've really been able to make some tough shots in those first 16 minutes.
It's a good game, and that's really the difference. Is the shot making from North. I think it's been really competitive. It's been up and down. I think South has had plenty of chances. They're just not making as many shots as North is. But it's been a well-played game so far, and I think it's a game that, it's going to be somebody's going to have one more run in the second half than the other team, and that'll be the difference.
Of course, you and I were talking just off air here about Caden Helderman in particular. 13 points for him. 2 made threes in that second quarter, but one thing that he has certainly made himself to be aware of throughout this whole game so far is the fact that he's not afraid to put the ball in the air regardless of where he is on the floor.
Well, he's putting a lot of pressure on the defense with the dribble, right? So he's really pushing it down the floor initially, and then he's just always a threat to put his head down and drive it. And he does a pretty good job of getting the balance at the end of those drives, so he can finish. And I've been impressed with him up until this point.
Meanwhile, for South Putnam, they had to take their big man at Khalil Jefferson out early on because he got in some quick foul trouble. But, of course, you bring in the likes of Parker Harris, who is certainly is equal of a big presence down low, but just some tough shot making right now there at the post there when you talk about those two players.
Well, it's hard to determine because, Jefferson got his second foul. We're just a couple minutes into the game, and neither one of those fouls were good fouls, right? So his role for this team is going to be a lot different this year than it was last year. So he's got to learn to keep his hands out of the cookie jar a little bit. And because he is a high-energy guy, I think that's a really interesting conundrum for a coach. Like, you don't want to take that away from him, but you got to train him to pick his spots better so you can keep him in the game because he gives you so many other things.
Meanwhile, for South Putnam, of course, talking with Coach Estridge earlier this week, you know, he brings back an older team from a season ago, bringing back most of the players that he had from last year, of course. But for him, it's been about, you know, adapting to the talent that he has, and he wants to play, you know, fast and up-tempo and under-control ball. Where would you say that they rank as far as that type of goal when it comes to those first two quarters?
Well, I think that the pace that they're playing with is a good pace for the personnel that they have, right? They just need to kind of stick with their knitting and stay with it. Both teams it's been a really physical game up to this point. They're banging and clanging. The refs are letting them play a little bit. And I'll be interested to see how this shakes out here in the second half.
And then finally, you and I talked about this in the first game. Of course, this rivalry between these two different schools, how important is it to see these two schools going at it with each other in a type of county like this where you have four really good high schools and, of course, really competitive high schools,
well,
too?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it during the girls' game. I mean, they all know each other, right? So they're all hanging out. They play open gym together, I'm sure, and they talk a little smack about what's going to happen next season, and those kinds of things make rivalries really fun. But you're also talking about, you know, they live close to each other, right? You can throw a rock and hit some other kid's house that goes to a different school in this county, and that stuff makes it. And so the games are really big all the time. 4 county schools, all small, probably 500 or less students. The kids all know each other, and so the games are a really big deal.
It certainly is here tonight. As it's halftime here between the boys of North Putnam and South Putnam. We'll take another timeout. Highlights coming at you next here on ISC.
Again?
Tortured by technology? Have no fear. Endeavor is here with Speed Geeks. Our Speed Geeks are expert technicians ready to rescue you from technology troubles. Our experts are here to get and keep your Wi-Fi running properly. We'll even make sure all of your devices stay connected. Give us a call or visit weendeavor.com to see if you're in our service area. Endeavor Communications, technology for real people.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds, talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports, every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
It's time to supercharge your internet with ridiculous speeds up to 1 gig from Endeavor. Get ready for high gear downloads that power buffer-free streaming, gaming, sharing, and surfing. And fire up all your devices at once with reliable speeds amplified by the latest Wi-Fi equipment. Get on the fast track to a powerful online experience. Contact Endeavor and supercharge your internet today.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Let's take a look at some highlights from that first half here, Coach, and certainly wasting no time, either of these teams, putting the ball in the net.
Well, the first 3 is off the – you knew something was up. The first 3 is off the backboard, which you don't see too often.
But then a couple plays down low as well here from North Putnam. But the threes fell a little bit as well for South. But Khalil Jefferson, need a little bit more of that from him in the second half.
Well, he's got to be out there for that to happen. So he's got to play this first 5 minutes without fouling anybody, and we'll see what happens from there. But the pace of the game – really by both teams, but, you know, North is really forcing the pace a little bit, and we'll see if that is able to continue here in the second half.
You see the three-point shooting has been deadly so far here for North Putnam. And you saw the little sequence as well. Caden Helderman, all of his 13 points again through that first half. Still, though, a couple defensive plays by South Putnam as well, as Garner has been showing off his skill set. And even some big man on big man action down low as well.
Big man on big man.
There's both those players, offensive linemen, Parker Harris as well as Braxton Woodall on the football team. Now going into the second half here, Coach, you're South Putnam down 10. What do you want to see here as they try to get this lead back to their advantage?
Well, I think they've got to continue to be deliberate, and it'll be interesting with Jefferson back in the ball game whether he's able to get on the offensive glass a little bit for them, get them some easy buckets. They haven't really been able to get any easy ones, whether it's off their defense or on the offensive boards. And, that could be the difference here in the second half.
So Khalil Jefferson playing with 2 fouls. So is Drew Klein for South Putnam. North Putnam was a lot better on the fouls as well in that opening half. As South will begin the second half here with the basketball.
Ran it again, tried to get the back cut.
A little extension here on the defense from the Cougars as Garner takes it up the left side. Nearly pulling the trigger there was Mullen. Instead, he tries to drive inside, and he'll draw the foul.
Every high school basketball team in the state of Indiana runs that play. So they start with a double stack. They run the low guy in the stack off the other double stack. They dribble away, and now they come back to the guy who's all by himself and try to back cut him. And even though everybody runs it, guys still fall for it over and over again. I guess that's why they keep running it, Kurt.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. We started in camp. We used to do a team camp. There's Jefferson.
As Jefferson gets the offensive rebound off the miss, and somehow Bozell comes down with it here for South Putnam.
We used to run a pretty big team camp, and you'd see that play 25 times a day.
Garner trying to feed it here to Jefferson as he goes right in on Woodall. And you can just see the athleticism oozing out of Jefferson right there on that shot, but just a matter of getting the fine-tuning to get those to start falling.
He's still shooting a half hook over the top from about 12 feet. I don't know if he's got that really in his bag. He's got to get the ball to a little better spot to be able to convert.
Helderman, again, 13 points in their opening half. As Augusta leaves that short, he made 2 threes, 1 in each quarter. Garner splits inside, can't get the finish. Full head of steam here for the Cougars as Helderman lets it fly in a big defensive rebound, I should say, there for Jefferson, who then puts it off of Woodall to give the possession here to his own team.
Well, I'll tell you what, North is really willing to shoot that basketball, that 3 in transition. And that time, it was a good-looking shot, just didn't go in.
Mullen back and forth here with Garner. And here is Bozell. Leaves it for Mullen. He finally lets it go and can't quite get that one to fall, as a foul going to be called on South. And I believe this is going to be against Mr. Jefferson going over the back. That is number 3.
Well, he's being blocked out, but he's just too insistent on coming over the top right here. You can see him. He's clearly blocked out. And that's what I was talking about at halftime. He's got to make better choices than that, because that's going to do nothing but get you a seat over on the bench.
As the old adage goes, pick your battles.
Yep, exactly right.
Inside to Woodall here on the mismatch with Schweitzer. And Woodall.
Quick spin. They're saying he hooked him right there.
And that's going to be an offensive foul on him, his first.
Well, Kurt, people are always talking about decision-making in the game of basketball. And typically they're thinking about the offense, but it's just as important defensively. And Jefferson is a pretty good example of that tonight. He's not going to be able to get anything going sitting over there.
Mullen lets it go, and he hits. Big three-pointer by South Putnam, who now is on a quick 4-0 swing, and a turnover back the other way to Garner.
Yeah, they needed that one.
And Garner makes it a 6-0 run for South Putnam, and a timeout called here by North.
And that turnover by Helderman leads to a quick bucket, and he treated that ball like leather, not gold there. He just threw it up for grabs, and South's going the other way and able to convert.
Well, this game is proudly sponsored by Endeavor Communications. Endeavor doesn't just provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play in connectivity. Visit weendeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. Well, Coach, you talked about a team coming out here and getting some sort of run. Well, it appears that team is South Putnam out of the break.
Well, they've been able to turn them over a little bit and get a couple of easy buckets going the other way, and now we got ourselves a ball game. North kind of playing into their hands, just not taking care of the basketball, taking a couple of ill-advised shots already. And South's been able to take advantage of that, and here we go, 2-point game.
Jace Monett, the sophomore, into the ball game here for North Putnam. But North right now starved for a basket, as they have not scored here in this third quarter. Helderman working on Mullen, gets inside, waits, and a hard foul from behind there, without question going to be against Isaac Garner.
And he did the palms up like, who me? It looked like a WWE body slam right there.
That is Garner's second foul of the night, and puts Helderman back at the line.
It's good to be young. If I fell like that today, I might not walk for a month, because he went down hard, man. Pop back up, knocks in 2 free throws.
Helderman now 3 of 4 at the line. He has 15 points. That also snaps a 6-0 run for South Putnam. Here is Schweitzer, hard to the basket. And there you see a high-flying Garner going up again. And it's going to be another foul on him.
Another over-the-back call.
And so that's now 3 on Isaac Garner. He is going to come out of the ball game, and we'll put Blake Witt back in. But, you know, you mentioned some WWE moves right there for Isaac Garner. He kind of went off the top rope for that one.
He's flying in there, and he doesn't really care if there's somebody between him and the basket.
But a chance for North Putnam after being punched in the mouth here. And waiting underneath for an easy layup is Owen Query.
Good find by Helderman.
That's now 6 points for Query coming off the bench. And Witt loses his footing, and a timeout going to be called by South Putnam. Probably needed to call that one anyway, Coach, because South Putnam all out of sorts on offense at the moment.
Yeah, they just don't look comfortable. North has kind of ramped up the pressure a little bit the last couple of possessions. And if they settle down, they can kind of use that against them. If they get a little space, should be able to get the ball to the basket.
Well, I mentioned this during the girls' broadcast as well, Coach. This is the last time that this will be a conference game in the Western Indiana Conference between these two squads. North Putnam going to be leaving the WIC to join the newly formed Monon Athletic Conference next season, which is, of course, going to be an amalgamation of some Western Indiana Conference teams as well as Sagamore Conference teams joining forces, of course, teams conveniently enough located right along where the old Monon line used
that'll
to be.
change in a couple of years. They'll be back in the same league at some point.
Ty Benton.
Well, I wonder if that means that they'll only play once, right? They also have a county tournament.
Well, they have the county tournament, and I would imagine this is probably going to be a protected rivalry game, I would say.
So.
As Benton leaves that one short. Again, this is an event that many in this county look forward to time in and time out. As you see a big shot there from Owen Query, back-to-back buckets for him.
Good patience by him right there. He took his time, made sure he was on balance. He was able to score that right over the top.
Mullen off a little bit of help there from Bozell. Here is Benton. Leaves the ball in the forecourt. Into the corner here with Schweitzer. Wide open there is Mullen. Leaves it short. Bozell, another offensive board. Witt splitting the defenders. The little guy just can't get the right physics that time as it goes in and out, but it'll stay here with the Eagles. Those are tough shots when you miss them.
Dude, that was halfway down. That was covered, and it still popped out on him.
North Putnam back out to an 8-point advantage as Bozell lets it go. Nothing there. Rebound for Augusta. Here comes Helderman. Helderman leaves it underneath, and Query with 6 straight points for North Putnam, and a timeout called by Coach Estridge.
Another great pass by Helderman. And, you know, that comes from him really just kind of pushing the issue a little bit. Query running the floor. He forced the defense to come and stop the ball, and nobody's guarding the basket.
Owen Query now with 10 points. 3 of them right here in this sequence here from Owen Query. Again, coming off the bench tonight here for North Putnam, and he makes them certainly work right now, and South Putnam going to have to adjust.
Well, Query is helping Helderman get that assist, get those assist numbers up a little bit, because all 3 of those dimes went to Query, and he's been an excellent finisher around the basket this second half.
For Helderman, it was scoring in the first half. The second half here, it's all about dropping dimes right now, and it's certainly working out for him right now as Owen Query certainly huffing and puffing right now as he's been relied upon here over the last couple times as they've stretched this to a 10-point advantage.
Well, he's a good-looking sophomore, kind of getting his first real run with an expanded role, and he's cashing in. He's taking advantage of it tonight.
So a 3:06 left to play here in the third. South Putnam in a little bit of a jam as they made it a little bit interesting, but North Putnam has gone on a run of their own ever since South Putnam went on theirs. Garner back into the ball game. He has 3 fouls, mind you. Up top with Witt along the baseline, and a nice cut underneath and leaving it for the waiting Schweitzer. Monett working it up top here as he gets it to Helderman. Augusta weaving it now with Query. Helderman along the left side and with a left hand finishes.
Tough finish in the crowd, but again, I've been really impressed with his ability to get to a 2-footed stop in the lane and then make a decision whether he's going to try to score it or pass it.
The finger roll doesn't go there for Garner, but he'll go to the line. So Isaac Garner having a tough night, even though he has 6 points. He also has 3 fouls. Garner only a sophomore, though, and had a growth spurt between his freshman and sophomore year, which has certainly boded well for him here as he knocks down that first foul shot.
It says here he's only 6'2", but he is a long, lanky 6'2". He's got the frame of a 6'6" guy.
And who knows, he may not even be done growing yet. Braxton Woodall, who also stands 6'2", is back in. And Garner rattles home that next one. 3 of 4 this second half on free throws for South Putnam. Well, it was 29-21 at the end of the half. It is 39-31 now with 2 to play here in the third quarter.
Pretty good little wrinkle on that handoff series where Helderman kept it and slipped it inside right there. Just couldn't convert at the basket.
Up top with Garner. Makes a man fall to the ground. Gets the shot to go subsequently with the and one. What a sequence there by the sophomore. Completely broke the ankles of Nolan Augusta.
Yeah, that was a tough take, and he goes off 1 foot, so he had no choice. When you go off 1 foot, you have no choice. You're going to have to score it, and he's able to get it over the outstretched hands of both defenders. Great finish.
Isaac Garner, 5 straight points now for South Putnam to cut it now to a 5-point lead for North Putnam. Helderman in traffic again. Tough shots up and again and still can't go as Garner fights for the rebound. Garner weaving his way up court. Witt goes through the legs, finds Parker Harris, gets the offensive rebound, can't get the shot to go, but now Harris will go to the line. Just some tough play at the rim here by both squads.
Harris a little bit snake bit trying to finish around the basket.
And he misses the foul shot as well. He's now 1 of 3. And he misses the other one as well. Halfway down twice on a couple of possessions here for South Putnam.
And Query missed the block out on Garner.
And so now Garner goes back to the line. By the way, 5 fouls on North Putnam, so automatic 2 foul shots for the remainder of this quarter.
It's a great opportunity. You got a guy up there who's not making free throws. You better block out.
Especially now that you've put your opponent in the bonus for the remainder of the quarter. One of 2 there. Garner missed with his first miss. He is 5 of 6. But it's a 4-point game all of a sudden. And Garner gets a steal, but he dribbles on the sideline. Awfully close that time.
Really close.
How about the hustle, though, of Garner? He picks up that 3rd foul, then all of a sudden, he is all over the floor.
Well, Mike Fox was right there looking right at it, so I'm going to say probably a good call.
Helderman just 4 points here in this third quarter. And a tough call right there as Garner, I believe, is now going to be picking up his 4th foul.
Well, he kind of, whether he got it or not, I don't know, but he kind of reached across his body, which is difficult to do, to knock that ball loose without fouling.
So that is, in fact, Garner's 4th foul of the ball game. But Owen Query trying to add to his points total here this quarter, and he misses.
I was going to say it'd be interesting to see if he leaves Garner, but he's taking him out.
But
probably a good move.
He does bring in Khalil Jefferson, who's playing with 3 fouls.
Well, he might as well play. My guess is he's not going to change how he plays.
And a timeout here taken by Coach Brooks of North Putnam. So a 5-point lead here, Coach. It is certainly a game of runs for South Putnam, though of late it's been at the foul line.
Well, I think Garner has, kind of cranked the energy level up for those guys with his defensive activity and his aggressiveness on the offensive end. And you can kind of, those sorts of things, they kind of just, the other players feed on that stuff. So with him going to the bench now, we'll see what happens at this point. But I think we got ourselves a ball game here, Kurt.
63 seconds remaining here in this third quarter. As North Putnam going to look at a loose full court here. And Witt dribbles off his foot, and it results in a turnover for the Cougars.
A little bit of a run and jump right there.
And the three falls for Griffin Starr.
They turned that turnover into three.
Points off turnovers. Coming into play now here for the Cougars. Getting inside, Jefferson too strong, gets this rebound and gets it to go. Another tough shot.
Stayed with it. Stayed with it.
5 points for him to keep it a 6-point ball game.
Coach Estridge is yelling at Jefferson not to foul. I feel like he probably knows it.
Helderman slips inside, misses, fires another one.
He's a shot maker. He can just weasel that thing into the bucket. It's a really good finish.
And it gives North Putnam an 8-point advantage going to the final 8 minutes of this one. 45-37. Back in a moment here on ISC.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash. Stream videos at blazing speeds. And game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
19 points for Caden Helderman and 14 points for Isaac Garner, respectively, on both of these ball clubs. Alongside Bill Finland, I'm Kurt Darling. North Putnam versus South Putnam, Coach. Final quarter of this rivalry, and right now the Cougars hold the advantage.
Well, South got themselves right there with a couple minutes left in the quarter, and then just North just was able to put on a little bit of a spurt and put themselves in this position of having an 8-point lead. But as we talked about at halftime, you know, somebody's going to have one more run in them than the other team, and that's going to be the difference in the game. And South, they need a run right now.
Meanwhile, Augusta trying to get that run going for North, and it comes up short. Mullen, long pass over to Witt, who pulls up from the elbow. Too strong that time for the sophomore. Letting it fly is Starr, and a tough rebound there by Jefferson. Mullen back outside to Klein. He looks inside here to Jefferson, who leaves it for Schweitzer, and Jefferson getting the assist rather than the points.
Good play. Little spin move on the baseline, drew a second defender, found his teammate for a layup.
And that is going to be foul number 4 on Jefferson, as he got the wrist that time going for the defensive play. So the services of Parker Harris are once again required here for Coach Josh Estridge.
It's just so difficult. The ball's semi-loose right there, right in front of you. Very hard not to be tempted to go after it. But if you're going to go after it, you better get it. Better not get his arm.
Helderman outside to Starr, who pump fakes. And back out to Woodall. And an offensive foul going to be called here on North.
It's that illegal screen in the handoff situation that you see over and over again.
So a foul apiece here in the fourth quarter as Woodall picks up number 3. Here is Klein up top. Mullen tries to get it to the cutting Schweitzer, who tries the hook shot, and Parker Harris is there for the rebound.
Great job carving out space on the weak side by Harris to knock that in.
And Owen Query steps on the baseline, a turnover for North on this side.
Just a hard time to drive the ball on the baseline when you're already on the baseline, right? So he's got to do the ballerina step just to keep from going out of bounds, and he couldn't do it. Much better to get the ball side to side and then try to drive it from a little higher up on the floor.
Back to a 4-point ball game as now it's a 2-point ball game. The closest we've gotten as Schweitzer, with a couple buckets here in the fourth quarter, makes it a close one. Helderman tries to extend the lead again. Another empty possession for North. Klein bounces inside to Harris. Off balance shot. And diving for the ball that time was Harris. He goes into the bleachers and he's okay. Heck of an effort there by that young man, but it's a turnover back here to North again.
He's gone after a fumble or two.
I wonder if he knows he's not wearing a helmet
in his time. He's gone after a fumble or two. This is really a lot like the girls' game in that it feels like North has been controlling things, but all of a sudden we're in a 2-point game.
Again.
And South has the ball and a chance to tie it up.
South was down by as many as 10 points, but they've clawed back to within 2 as Schweitzer leaves that one short, but he goes to the line as a foul going to be called. And this is going to be on Owen Query, and that is his 4th. So some fouls flying under the radar there for Query on top of the scoring in the third quarter. And so a slightly small lineup here for Coach Estridge with only Harris down low. So he goes 1 of 2 at the line, does Schweitzer. 1-point ball game. Starr into the corner, back to Helderman.
Yep.
And Helderman takes a bump right there from Witt.
They switched it right there, and he took it at him, kind of forced him to foul. Not a clean switch.
So now you put Garner back in for Coach Estridge, along with Benton. So a little more athleticism here to deal with here if you're North Putnam. Cutting right to the basket off the inbound is Starr.
That is a little bit of a pet peeve of mine. I think that typically I like to have the guy guarding the inbounds guy with his head under the basket just to make sure if somebody slips open that's covered. And somebody did slip open, and that was a big bucket for Garner.
3 on the way from Garner. Too strong that time, and over the back goes Schweitzer. And the foul's already racking up here as we hit the halfway point of this fourth and final quarter. That's 2 now on Schweitzer. Augusta here working with Starr. A little bit of that weave action that we saw in the first half. Helderman gets into the lane, spins right into Mullen, and it's turned over to Schweitzer. Schweitzer goes right to the rim and cuts it back to a 1-point game.
A lot of control there on that drive. He already made his mind up that he was going to spin, and he spun right into the defender.
Blocked shot there by Harris off the three-pointer from Monett, and it goes out of play. By the way, 11 points for Wyatt Schweitzer now, 7 of them coming in this fourth quarter.
Monett got a little lucky on that one because I don't think that was a great shot.
Well, now, Coach, you have Jefferson back into the ball game along with Garner, so you have all your athletes on the floor.
There, they got open on the OB again.
And that's Barber.
Same thing. That time they hit the screener instead of the cutter.
Garner along the right side with a right hand.
When he's got space, he is really good going downhill to the basket, and North hasn't had an answer for him this half.
Helderman leaves it underneath, and it's off the mark that time from Starr. South can take the lead here for the first time since the first quarter. Garner spins inside, and he gets held up. It's a held ball is the call. And the arrow, I believe, is going to favor the Eagles. Well, Coach, basically it is a full-on offensive on both ends of the floor here for both teams.
Yeah, it's getting wild and woolly out here, Kurt.
Going for the oop off the inbound to Jefferson. He can't get it. And Jefferson's going to pick up foul number 5. And Coach Estridge, you can see he's not at all happy with his junior big man.
But you know what? He loved him up a little bit, too. That's good. He's giving it to him.
You certainly can't deny Khalil Jefferson. He is going to be someone to be reckoned with here in this part of the state once he figures it all out.
How do you get mad at a guy who plays that hard? You know, you just gotta get him to use his powers for good instead of evil. You know, and that's the key with a guy like that. And you can tell that Coach is really working that angle.
Woodall working here on Harris. Helderman with a mismatch now as he tries to get around Harris. Tipped up and into the hands of Query. Some tense moments here for North Putnam.
Thought about it.
Helderman left open, and Harris with an easy rebound. Garner gonna go right to the rim here from back the other way. Leaves it short. Back-to-back empty possessions for South. Helderman with some help, and he drains a big 3.
Big bucket to make it a 2-possession game. And this is a big possession here for South. They need to get something good. Still no need to hurry, but they've got to get something high percentage right here.
22 points for Caden Helderman. Benton to try and answer, and that is off the mark. And it goes out of bounds, and they're going to say this is North Putnam ball. And a timeout going to be called here by South. to try and put something together, down 4 points with 75 seconds left to play in this ball game. Tonight's game is brought to you by Endeavor Communications, which doesn't provide ordinary old internet service. Their blazing fast, high-speed, fiber-based service is a game changer. Don't settle for less. Switch to Endeavor for the winning play in connectivity. Visit weendeavor.com or call 1-800-922-6677. Endeavor Internet, your fiber connection, your victory. Well, Coach, you can certainly feel the tenseness between these two ball clubs. The rivalry is palpable.
Let's say tension.
Tension. Yeah.
A
bunch of different words that are being created in my very limited brain capacity. But still, nevertheless, you can feel the tension in this one as both these ball clubs try to meander these final 75.
I'm not going to be surprised if North just takes the air out of it right here. They've got a lot of good ball handlers out there. They should be able to spread the floor and force South to play the foul game. It would shock me if they look to shoot it right here, unless it's somebody gets loose for a layup.
Full court press being showed now here by South Putnam.
And North will be shooting on the next foul.
Indeed they will. Helderman back outside the star, and you can see North certainly not trying to get a bucket. If it comes, great, but still working as much clock as they can. But now getting to the line here will be Helderman for the third time this evening. He is 3 of 4 at the line. And Helderman hits the front end. As it's now a 4-0 scoring swing. Short one here for North Putnam.
Still a 2-possession game here if they can figure out a way to squeeze a 3 off.
They have a few shooters out there at the moment as Garner just goes right to the basket, and will call another timeout here from Josh Estridge. 54-40, 47 left to play here in regulation.
I like taking the 2 right there because now you've got enough time to be able to possibly force a turnover right here in the backcourt. Get a trap, maybe 2 traps, right, before you have to foul.
18 points for Isaac Garner tonight, by the way, who has certainly had an up and down night. He's playing with 4 fouls, mind you, but his scoring has been certainly one that has been extremely helpful for South at the moment. But now if you're Coach Estridge, you know, the pressure's on at this point.
Well, he's been really good in the second half on both ends. He was active defensively, and they just haven't had an answer for his drives on the North on the defensive end. So I would expect to see the ball in his hands when they're able to gain possession. But they need to, and they're going offense defense with him right now because he can't afford to foul. There's an attempt at the first trap.
And a foul called here on South Putnam. It's going to be Blake Witt picking up his second.
See, I'm not sure I would have given the foul right. Make him get it over the 10-second line first, because that clock is your friend if you can trap him and keep him down there and make him fight that 10-second call. But what do I know? I'm retired.
Helderman back at the line. And that is his first miss in his last 4 foul shot attempts. As right on cue, Coach, you said Garner back in here on the offense-defense rotation along with Bozell. Helderman, 26 points tonight. Moselle lets a three fly, and that's off the mark. Offensive rebound by Schweitzer, puts it up and in. 9 fourth quarter points for Schweitzer.
Well, the missed free throw by Helderman, you know, now with that bucket makes it a one-possession game.
Once again, illustrating the importance of making free throws.
They're free, Kurt. They're free. You got to make them. But I think the situation really hasn't changed very much. 25 seconds, you've got a lot of time. I would still try to trap at least once without fouling. See if you can turn him over rather than put him on the free throw line.
By the way, both of these teams have games in less than 12 hours, or rather 24 hours, I should say, coming up here as Edgewood will be coming here to North Putnam tomorrow night, December 7th. That'll be at about 7:30. But then South Putnam going to be going on the road again. This time they're going to be going all the way down to Brown County for a 1:30 tip-off down there in Nashville. So it's certainly
Saturday afternoon game.
Saturday afternoon,
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well, I really think that they should do whatever they can do in the backcourt. And if they break the backcourt line, then foul them. You'll still have 15 seconds to play with, right?
24 ticks remain in this contest.
You're doing the football play. Turned it over.
And it's Wyatt
And
Schweitzer gets it go, and he gets the and one off the turnover on the inbound. And Wyatt Schweitzer has a chance to tie this ball game.
Well, they did the old football play.
11 points by Wyatt Schweitzer here in this fourth quarter.
Well, not only did he get the deflection, but he gobbled it back up and stuck it in. What a great play. And knocks the free throw in.
Tie ball game. South Putnam appeared to be out of it. Going into this final minute, they were down by 6. They have made up that deficit. And now Helderman maybe playing for one shot here.
They're just going to leave it in his hands and let him go.
Helderman gets his pocket picked. Here comes Mullen. Back the other way. Mullen gets fouled on the floor. That is not going to be a shooting foul. But that was a heads-up play there by Helderman to at least get the foul.
Yeah, absolutely got to give that foul right there. No question.
But now the next foul here, Coach, will be free throws.
Well, the tables have turned a little bit. A lot of it, actually.
So Moselle will be the man to inbound it.
They don't have any timeouts, or I would assume they'd take one right here.
Moselle has Benton. He lets it go. Off the mark. Well, Coach, how about some free basketball?
Let's go. Let's go.
We'll take a quick timeout.
Let's go, baby.
Overtime coming at you next. Here in this one, the doubleheader, North Putnam, South Putnam here on ISC.
Want lightning fast internet speeds? Choose Endeavor. Go from slow to whoa. From last to fast. And wait to great. Endeavor Communications is bringing the fastest internet speed in Indiana to your town. So you can download huge files in a flash, stream videos at blazing speeds, and game online faster than you thought possible. Think fast and contact Endeavor Communications today at join.weendeavor.com.
Hey there, my name is Jake Query.
And I'm Derek Schultz.
And we are part of, actually, the entirety of, at least from an on-air standpoint, Query and Schultz on the ISC Sports Network. It's appropriately named. It's charitably award-winning. And Derek, now we venture into season number 5. Hard to believe.
5 of them. 5 of them. Can you believe it? 2 best buds talking Colts, Pacers, Indiana sports every Tuesday night, 7:30, ISC Sports Network, and on socials as well.
It is made possible, of course, by the people who watch and listen every single week. We are most appreciative. We look forward to season number 5.
It is overtime here at North Putnam High School in the county rivalry that everyone certainly looks forward to in this one. Alongside Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling. Well, Coach, South Putnam made up a 6-point deficit in 1 minute, and now we have overtime.
Well, you know, we were talking about runs, and they made a run, a mini run, right there when they needed it the most, thanks to a couple of great plays by Mr. Schweitzer. That play on the inbound was a big-time play.
Wyatt Schweitzer.
Get the deflection, get it back, and have the presence of mind to figure out how to get it in the bucket.
He had 11 fourth-quarter points. He has 15 on the night. By the way, 18 points for Isaac Garner. But now it's a brand new ball game. 4 minutes of added time here in this one. And a three falls there for Nolan Augusta, who went quiet the entirety of that second half. He finally gets one to go.
Yeah, I don't think he even got one off in the second half, did he?
He got a couple, I would say. Back the other way. Tough shot taken. Nothing there. Here is Helderman. Another tough shot. Follow-up doesn't go as he tries to get his own rebound. Schweitzer, who's had a heck of a second half, he's going to draw the foul. By the way, for those who are not familiar, fouls carry over from the fourth quarter to overtime. So that is an automatic shooting foul. We are shooting foul shots for the remainder of this ball game.
Everybody's shooting. Okay.
Wyatt Schweitzer.
Well, he's already made the biggest free throw of the ball game with 4 seconds to go.
But he misses that one. Well, what a way to start the season if you're South Putnam. On the putback from the miss was Drew Klein.
No block out at all.
Drew Klein didn't score at all in regulation, but he gets his first bucket right there. 1 point lead here for North Putnam. Helderman with Klein sticking to him like glue, and it's going to result in a foul on Klein.
Very physical play down there. These guys are banging.
That'll be Klein's fourth foul of the ball game. And Helderman back to the line.
Well, that was a little wrinkle on their handoff game. They were trying to get Augusta another look out here, and it just didn't happen. So Helderman took it in there, physical drive off a post up.
"27 points for Caden Helderman. Garner goes around the outside and leaves that one short with the offhand. And we have a stoppage in play here.
What was it? I think it looked like he had maybe tweaked his ankle and he wasn't going to be able to go on. And then all of a sudden he is, and the referee stopped play. Right there, see it?
So stopping for maybe what could have been an injury timeout.
Right.
Of course, that was Helderman.
It looked worse than it ended up, obviously, because he's moving pretty good right now.
Griffin Starr leaves it for Augusta. Augusta spins inside, tries a Helderman-like shot, and he'll get to the line. I believe that's only the second shot he's taken from inside the arc tonight.
Well, as we talked about earlier, in their first game, he was 6 of 16, and all 16 shots were threes. But he didn't look uncomfortable spinning in there, and he's such a good shooter. Good offense getting him on the free throw line right now.
Well, Coach, it's back to a 4-point advantage now for North Putnam.
Well, that just means South has them right where they want them.
Exactly, because we saw that with less time at the end of regulation. Here is Garner. Up top, Garner Off the back of the iron, fighting for an offensive rebound is Klein. He has 2 big ones tonight, and Benton can't finish. Starr with a hard rebound. And Schweitzer picks up number 3.
Yeah, I don't think that's a great foul. It's a little early to play the foul game, and to go ahead and get him 80 feet from the basket is probably not the answer.
So foul shots here for Griffin Starr. And he puts that one right off the front of the iron. Only the 3rd miss of the second half for North Putnam. As Starr hits the back end, he now has 6. 62-57 inside the final 2 minutes of this overtime period. Mullen in the lane, leaves it short. Schweitzer gets a hard rebound. Schweitzer back in, moving in on Woodall. Garner with the right hand over the defender and draws the foul.
Well, that's the guy. That's the guy you want to get going downhill, because he can finish, and he's also pretty good at drawing attention and drawing fouls. And scoring when the clock is not running is the best thing that South Putnam can do right now.
Garner, 5 of 6 in this second half. And now make it 6 of 7. He has 20 points. As Blake Witt will come back in here, and Garner will take a seat again, Coach, being vigilant of his 4th foul.
Yep, offense, defense, because they're still 3 points behind. They've got to be aggressive defensively. Maybe not foul immediately, but...
And South Putnam gets a steal with Witt, and Schweitzer gets it to go. Back to a 1-point game. Coach, it was a 5-point deficit, back to 1.
I told you they had him right where they wanted him, Kurt.
Second time that South Putnam has done that tonight.
You're not listening to me.
Oh, I'm listening. Everybody's listening, because this game has certainly been wild. But the fouls are certainly an issue now, as the Cougars will go back to the line. Schweitzer coming up a little gimpy after that play as well.
Well, North is going to have to knock in free throws to maintain control of this basketball game.
Well, they're doing that. They are 5 of 8 here in this overtime period. But now 5 of 9.
1 at a time is not going to be enough.
Chance to take the lead here for South Putnam. Garner goes to the basket, draws the foul, and a chance to tie it up again.
That's Garner just forcing the issue, like we talked about. You just can't bail him out by fouling him. I'm not sure he was really on balance enough to finish that shot off.
Well, this is certainly the level of competitiveness that you expect from a game such as this. Inter-county rivals. South Putnam in their very first game of the season. North Putnam trying to avenge a loss to Southmont just 10 days ago. Garner misses a big free throw. Like you said, Coach, 1 at a time doesn't cut it.
Well, and North has had a hard time. They've given up 3 offensive rebounds this half on missed free throws. So they need to be ready to block out here and gain possession of this ball so they can get fouled.
And so North Putnam calls what I believe is their final timeout of the ball game that carried over from the half. But still, you have to be impressed with how South Putnam has just managed to time and again get themselves out of jams and keep this game going.
They've been a very resilient group of guys tonight. And what they're talking about in the timeout right now is South is talking about getting their defense set, getting a trap, maybe two, when they want to get involved in the foul game. And North is talking about, hey, let's do a better job against pressure here because you know they're coming with pressure. We turned it over to put it in the overtime in the first place. That can't happen again. Who's going to be where? Where are we going to go? And do we have any timeouts? All of those things have to be covered in the timeout.
So Garner with a big foul shot here.
You can't take anything. You can't take anything for granted. A week or so ago, there was an NBA coach that called a timeout that he didn't have.
.21 points for number 21. And now you get Blake Witt back in, who has certainly been an Energizer bunny on the defensive side for this full court press. He had the steal the last time. But North Putnam feeling vigorous pressure here from the south, and it's a turnover, but not before. It is a kickball is the call that stays here with the North. So the inbound here to the near sideline.
Yeah, well, you know you're going to trap, but you have to kind of take the trap on a little bit, or it's just going to be difficult to get it down the floor.
And now North Putnam gets it across, and a foul immediately called here on Ty Benton.
A little bit early, but I'm guessing that's the guy they wanted to get, the sophomore, Query. Put a little game pressure on him.
Query had a big third quarter for North Putnam, scoring 7 of his 11 points in that particular period. Another big foul shot here for North Putnam.
Got them both.
Query hits them both. Only the second time they've hit both foul shots here in this overtime period. Still a one-possession game here for South Putnam.
Well, you got to run them off the three-point line. You can't stare at guys that are on the three-point line.
Three on the way from Benton.
Like that.
But Schweitzer gets the offensive rebound to cut it back to one.
Guess who?
He has been absolutely outstanding. And there is a ball on a rope steal for Garner. He goes right to the rim. Finger roll off the glass. 1 point lead to South Putnam. Back the other way. North Putnam on their heels. Getting inside, and a foul going to be called on Garner. That is number 5 on him. His night is over. Heck of an effort by that young man.
Well, he had to foul there. Had to. Starr, just for whatever reason, gave that ball up in transition. He really wasn't under a lot of duress. It probably would have been better off just bringing it up on the bounce. And 1 point overtime games do strange things to people, Kurt.
6 points now for Chase Barber as he ties it back up at 6 is all. And Barber leaves it short. An opportunity for South Putnam.
Don't have any timeouts.
South Putnam maybe playing for one here. Schweitzer on the glass and gets it to go. Time is going to stop at about 3.5 seconds as Coach Brooks now calls what is indeed his final timeout. What a play there by Wyatt Schweitzer. What a second half by Wyatt Schweitzer.
He's made every play that they've needed him to make, including that quick spin on the baseline right there and finishing up that bucket.
Coach Wyatt Schweitzer only had 4 points at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah.
He now has 24 points.
He was not super involved for them offensively, and that dude has good chance. He's the guy who's going to save the day today.
Still, though, Coach, even though it may not seem like a lot, 3 seconds is still at least enough time to do something.
They gave him sorry, Kurt. They gave him an extra second or half a second.
So they've reset the clock to 4.3.
Well, I think you're going to see Helderman on the bounce, coming hard downhill.
And what we can only assume would be for a game-winning tray. South Putnam trailed by as many as 10. They were down by 8 at the half. They played from behind from the majority of this contest. They make not one but 2 miraculous comebacks late in both regulation and now here in overtime. And now all they have to do is hold for the final 4 seconds. North Putnam getting it in here to Helderman. 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Helderman lets it go, leaves it short. On the rebound, it does not go. South Putnam escapes with a victory. 68-66. Coach, what a ball game.
That's like the first game of the year for these guys.
It is the first game of the year.
What do you do from here? What do you do from here? Oh man, that was fun. And what was the best thing about it was nobody quits, right? Everybody just is playing as hard as they possibly can, and what a great ending.
24 points for Wyatt Schweitzer, 20 of them in the fourth quarter as well as overtime. A heck of an effort for him this evening. Coach, a pleasure working with you tonight, my friend.
And Schweitzer just did a backflip, a standing backflip in the middle of the court.
Indeed he did. They get the old bucket here between these 2 ball clubs. Final score again, 68-66. For Bill Fenlon, I'm Kurt Darling, saying so long till next time. You've been watching the North Putnam-South Putnam doubleheader here on ISC.